Welcome back, Tigers! In this video, we will learn how to use Einstein Next Best Action with DocuSign. DocuSign uses a custom button that invokes a Visualforce page. We will show you how to convert this to a ScreenFlow so that you can use this action as a recommendation to your users in Einstein Next Best Action. Let's hop over to Salesforce and see how to set this up. All right, here we are in Salesforce, and our first step is to check out the custom button that we have on the opportunity. We're going to go to the opportunity object, and we have a button here that's called DocuSign Proposal. So this is a standard DocuSign button. It's using an Apex action in here, and then it passes some parameters along with the URL. Now, in order to make this work, we couldn't just use Navigate Anywhere from Unofficial SF. We actually had to invoke DocuSign to be able to get the URL. This means that we have to create two Apex classes that are going to help us get that URL, and then we will pass it to our ScreenFlow so then we can use the ScreenFlow in our Einstein Next Best Action. So our first step here is to create our Apex classes. We're going to give you the code for the Apex classes in a link in the description below. They're very simple. Right, here's the first one. We'll click Save there. And then we have the test class for it. And we'll save that. So you should have two Apex classes. You should have one Apex class called DocuSign Sending URL for Flow, and the second one is the test class. Our next step is to create the ScreenFlow that we're going to use in Einstein Next Best Action. So we'll come here, we'll create a new flow. And our first step here is to do a get records. We are going to get the DocuSign envelope template. That is right here. Now, if you remember, this is the record that you set up when you set up the DocuSign custom button. So let's go check out what that looks like. Right here, our proposal for services. This is the custom button that is using this envelope template. And so we're going to look for the name to be Proposal for Services. And then the source object is going to be Opportunity. So this is going to query your DocuSign envelope template records, and it should pull this one. We'll click Save there. So we don't lose anything. We'll call this Opportunity DocuSign Proposal for NBA. Our next step is to add the Apex action that's going to invoke those Apex classes that you just created. This is called Get DocuSign Sending URL. So you'll select that, and you'll just call it Get DocuSign Sending URL. And then you scroll down here under Advanced, and we're going to manually assign a variable, and we're going to create a new variable, and we will call it DocuSign Sending URL. So this Apex class is going to run, and it's going to output the DocuSign Sending URL for us. Click Save there. Okay, our next step is to create our record ID variable. So this will pass into our flow. This will be the record ID where the action is launched from, and make sure it's available for input. Next, we need to create the formula for the URL that we're going to send our users to. So it will open up the DocuSign page. And this is a crazy formula. Okay, let's explain what some of this means. Right here, this is the DocuSign Sending URL that is coming out of the Apex class that you created. These are DocuSign parameters that you are passing in the URL that DocuSign needs to send it to the correct page. You're passing the record ID, and we're also passing our DocuSign envelope template ID. So this is in your Get Records element that we created in the first step, and then we're just passing the ID of the record here over to our URL. And then we're passing the record ID here, and then we're passing the title. We'll check that syntax. That looks good. You'll click done and save there. Our next step is to add an action, and this is going to be our Navigate Everywhere action. If you don't know what this is an action from Unofficial SF. We're going to provide you with the link in the description below. Unofficial SF is an amazing resource for modular components that you can use in all of your flows. They have some really great things. Data table is another one of my favorites. So Navigate Everywhere will allow you to navigate the user to a specific place at the end of a flow. So it gives you full control over that finish location. Our destination type is just going to be URL. And then you're going to put your formula in here, the one that you just created. And then you'll click done and save. We will activate this. And then our next step is to create our recommendation. We're going to create what's called a predefined recommendation. We do have a video that reviews how to do all of these in detail. You're getting a first-hand look here. So we're going to name it Opportunity DocuSign Proposal. We're going to give it a description. This description will show to the user. I'm going to make my acceptance DocuSign Proposal. My rejection label is going to be Do Not Send. And then the action is going to be the flow that I just created, Opportunity DocuSign Proposal for NBA. I will click Save. Now, if you wanted to give it an image, let me show you how that works. You can't upload it in this screen. I go into detail why in one of our other videos. I'll show you how to do it the right way with the right settings here so you don't run into any issues troubleshooting why your image isn't showing. So you'll go to Libraries, your Asset Libraries, and then you're going to upload an asset file. We've prepared an image that we're going to upload here. And then we're going to check both of these boxes, very important, or else this image won't show to your users in Next Best Action, which can be super hard to troubleshoot. And then we'll come here and we will upload that image that we want to show and click Save. Okay, now our recommendation is set up. Now we need to go to our recommendation strategy and update it so that it pulls this recommendation. So we have set up a recommendation strategy from one of our previous videos that we did in this series. If you want to learn how that was all set up, we'll put the links to those videos in the description below. They're all about the predefined recommendations and on-the-fly recommendations. So this is our recommendation strategy flow here. I'm going to open this up. And I have a place where I am searching for the opportunity stage, and based on the opportunity stage value, I am showing the user certain things. So I'm going to add another stage here, and this is going to be for negotiation review. Okay, and then I'm going to copy this and paste it. Copy this one and paste it over here. So I'm actually just filtering my recommendations. If you want to understand how all of this works, check out those other videos. This video is all about DocuSign. Okay, and then we're going to put the name of our recommendation here, Opportunity DocuSign Proposal. So that's just pulling from the name right there. We'll click Done. And then I need to update this. And then I need to make this pull from the correct filter, the negotiation one. There we go. Done. So now when the user has a role of Eastern Sales Team and the stage of the opportunity is negotiation review, the user should see the DocuSign proposal action. We'll do a save as here. And then we will activate. Now we're ready to test. Okay, so let's hop over to an opportunity and let's click on this one. And we're going to change the stage to negotiation review. We expect to see DocuSign proposal as an action show. This is great. Now, this description probably isn't good for our users. So you want to make sure whatever description you put in your recommendation, it makes sense for the end user. We'll click DocuSign proposal. We now expect the normal DocuSign sending screen to come up. You can see that there's a confirmation token being generated and all of that. So that is from the Apex class that we created, invoking DocuSign to give us a confirmation token to generate the URL. And then we can see that the correct document is generated. We should have our recipients automatically selected, and I'll just edit this one. And then we will go to prepare and send. We'll make sure that our field merges are all coming into our document, and then we'll send this out. And they are. Okay, we'll send this. Now you can see that the DocuSign proposal recommendation is no longer showing. We can see that our DocuSign status record was created and that it was sent out for signature. Now, I also want to show you something over here in our flow. We have a limit repetitions action here at the end of our flow. This is set up in one of our other videos where we review how you can limit the repetitions for a user for the recommendations. We have it set up that when a user either accepts or rejects a response, once within 90 days, this recommendation is not going to show again to the user. Now, this may or may not work for you in this scenario. So here we're going to show you some steps that you can do to better control this, because maybe you don't want to limit. If a user rejects the recommendation to DocuSign a proposal, that might be a no-go within your organization. Maybe all your proposals need to be signed via DocuSign and they can't make that recommendation go away until you have a DocuSign status record that was completed for signature. I'm going to show you how you can modify this flow to make sure that that recommendation continues to show. We're going to put an end element here. So that means that this is not going to go to the end of this flow, which makes sense because we shouldn't be doing product recommendations and all these other things that we're doing down here if they're in negotiation review. So now if I save this and activate it, and then I come back to my opportunity, I click refresh, I see my recommendation. Well, I don't necessarily want it to show in this scenario either, because the DocuSign status record is pending signature. So I shouldn't be asking my users to send this out if they've already sent it. So here's what you can do. We're going to add a get records element here. And this is going to look at the DocuSign status object. And we're going to look for our source ID to be the record ID that comes into this flow. So if we take a look at the DocuSign status record, we can see the Salesforce source ID is the ID of our opportunity. And then we can look for status is sent or completed. And then we can do a custom logic there. So we want this DocuSign status record to be related to our opportunity, and it can be either status of sent or completed. All right, so now we'll add a decision element here. And we just want to check to see if the DocuSign status record exists. So if is null is false, that means it exists, and then this would be a no. So if our DocuSign status record exists, we don't want to show these recommendations. So I'm going to cut these and put them up here. And now our recommendations should not be showing on our test record. All right, we'll save that, activate it, refresh, and it's gone. All right, so we have successfully invoked DocuSign with Einstein Next Best Action. A little bit of work, but well worth it. That's it, that's a wrap. Be sure to subscribe to Blue Tiger Academy so you don't miss out on the next videos we are working on. We've got something really good brewing. Let us know in the comments below if you have any questions or if you would like to see a video on a different Salesforce topic. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.